Hello and welcome everybody to this 11th episode of the CreaLien Design Podcast, a podcast about knitting and spinning and crocheting and all the other fiber crafts. Welcome, my name is Eline. You can find me on the internet as CreaLien or CreaLien Design on Ravelry, Instagram and Etsy. Again, welcome. It's so much fun to have you here and that you are willing to give up some time to hear me chat about all the things I like to chat about. There are a few things I have to say at first. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a bar across the street and they are renovating it. They've been renovating it for months now, and I don't know how many months more it will take. But today they were making quite a lot of noise, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but there's really nothing I can do about. And the second thing is, you can see my eyes squinting a bit. It's because the weather is a bit weird. It's a very blue sky with very thick gray clouds. Once the gray clouds are in front of the sun, then everything is alright and we have normal light. But if the clouds go away and the sun shines, it's very bright. So that's what I wanted to say. Then there's another thing. Some more. Yeah. I am using I'm going to try out some new video editing program. So from now on, I should be able to put some stuff down here in the screen. I'm going to try and do that. I couldn't do it with the normal Windows video editing software. I'm going to try and do it right now. So if you see something written down here in the screen, then it means it worked. If not, you have to go to the description box down there on YouTube. You can find all the information, everything I talk about down there too. So let's talk some knitting, shall we? Yeah, let's start with what I'm wearing. This is the cardigan that my great-grandmother knit me. I've shown it before. Well, she didn't knit it for me. She did knit it for my mother, but I was there first to claim it. So I got it because I was first and I liked it. So yeah, I cannot take any credits for it. It's not knit by me. I did sew on the buttons. But yeah, how much credit can I get for that, right? Yeah, knitting. I don't have a lot of finished projects. I'm sorry about that. But I do have one. Because this one was already very almost finished last time. So let me grab them. Ta-da! These are my Riga Leyburn socks. And I love them. Look. Don't mind the sock blockers. They are from cardboard. And apparently I cannot cut very straight. Yeah, they are like real cardboard. But they do the job, right? So yeah, what did I do? I used my plain old sock recipe that I always use. So I worked on 3mm needles, started at the toe, worked my way up, did a short row heel, did the leg and then added a cuff. But I used this lovely stitch pattern from the Leyburn socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. If it works, you can read it on the screen right down here right now. So yeah, this is the Leyburn sock pattern. You can find it free on Ravelry. The yarn I used is some yarn that I bought on a city trip to Riga. That's why I call them my Riga socks. I started these back in, let me check, I wrote it down, May 2015. So they have been on my needles for 4 years now. And they are finally finished and I really like them. They are so pretty and the colors are so much brighter than you can actually see. Maybe if I make a little, yeah, that's more like it. If I make a shadow over it, then you can see the colors better. Yeah. And they are so pretty and I'm so happy they're done. I knit them out of long yarns, socks and lace. Long yarns or socks and lace. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. I will put it down on the screen if it works. Yay! So that's my only finished project, but I have a lot more to show you. My only knitting finished projects. So let's get moving to my works in progress. I have a yay, a half finished object. A sock, or yeah, does it count as a sock if it's just a small size children? It's still half a finished object, right? Half a finished project. It's I used the same stitch pattern. Let me see. Well, all the fun stitch markers there. But look, it's also the Leyburn sock pattern that I used for the panel and the front. I'm also doing only the front of the leg. The yarn is one that I dyed myself years ago. It's one of the first yarns that I dyed and I still had it. So I thought, well, it's so happy and bright. Let me use it for this project. I did knit it toe up as I always do, but just in a smaller size. And because it's for a little girl, I decided to do a heel flap, the Dutch heel, and a gusset, because you know, children, they always have this on the arch of their foot. It's always kind of chubby. It's like not chubby and cute, but it takes up more space. So if I would do just a short row heel, I think it might be a bit too tight. So I decided to go on a bigger heel with a gusset. This is for a swap with my lovely Instagram friend Natalie, Woolwisp. I'm knitting her socks, or I'm knitting her little girl's socks, and I get some yarn and fiber from her. So yeah, this is the first one. It's finished. If you want to know more about it, all the things I did, you can find it in my project page in Ravelry. And I casted on the second one. Yeah, no second syndrome here, although I only did it like yesterday, and this one has been finished. I casted this on the 11th of February and I finished it on the 12th of February. Today it's the 5th of March and I casted it on yesterday. Look how far I've gotten! Yay! Yeah, so I think I did a cast on and 3 rows. Yeah, I've got quite a bit to go. I should get to it though, because children grow, their feet grow. So if I want this sock to fit, I will block it, by the way. I will block it. It won't, Emmy won't receive it just like this. It will have a normal sock shape to it. So yeah, started the second sock. Really should get to it. Now I'm showing you this. Look, this is the little ball. I have more. This is not all I have, but look, rainbow, oh, pink, yay! How fun is this yarn? Yeah. So here you go. Look, so cute. Maybe I should dye more of this. But I don't remember how I did it. Even I probably cannot replicate it because it's been so long. There's something, you know, I'm keeping this in a project bag that I made over the last few weeks. And that is this one. A tiny little boxy bag, project bag. It's small. It turned out a lot smaller than I had in mind. And I was sewing it. I had been sewing this all day, I believe. And then finished it late at night and I messed up everything and then I had to redo it, and it's still messed up. So it's far from perfect, but it's cute and it's fun, and but it turned out a lot smaller than I had in mind. And a normal ball of sock yarn isn't really gonna fit in here. Look, these are my 15 centimeter needles, and they wouldn't really fit like this. It's small, but it's nice. It has a handle. I'm just gonna use it myself, and it's far from perfect. It has a lovely lining with cute little flowers. This is the fabric, by the way. I have no idea what fabric this is. I just bought it at our local market a few years back. I also have it in green. This one is pink, and I also have it in green. But what I like about it, about this model, if I put in my ball in here, and I would close it up, almost close it up, I can hang it around my wrist and then knit from here and just have the yarn feed from inside. This is perfect for, you know, if you're that kind of person that walks outside and knits while they're working, while they're walking around. Wow, that was difficult. But it's also perfect if you're just on a train or on a plane or whatever. It's perfect. So let me put this away again, and then we move on. Oh, that's so that was a work in progress of mine. Cute little sock. I think I said it, but you can find all the details on what I did. Yeah, I have said it before, in my Ravelry account. Then, the next thing I've been working on, it was a new cast on, so you haven't seen this before. It's made out of my Handspun yarn, but it's not finished. But, tum tum tum, a Handspun sock in a sunset rainbow. Look, it's very, very sparkly. And yes, that's a matching contrasting heel. I love it. I love it so much. I've spun this yarn in 2017, so 2 years ago, and it was a blend of fake angora, so the fake angora, so it feels and looks like angora, but it's not real angora, and with Superwash merino and sparkles, of course, because it's super sparkly. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that's all sparkle you see there. I dyed it back then in 2017, and I spun it. I chain plined it. Well, I split the braid in two and made 2 equal skeins of yarn, and I'm at the I worked it the same way as I work all my socks, but because this yarn was thicker, I worked it on my 3.25 needles instead of my usual 3mm needles, with 44 stitches instead of my 56. I worked it toe up, and I am now at the cuff. I'm knitting the cuff on 3mm needles because I want it to be a bit more tight. And this is all I have left. So there's the dark yellow, and then it will be this very bright yellow, which you cannot see. Wait, if I compensate with blue, maybe it shows you the right color. No, it doesn't really show you. That's interesting. We're in the ice palace now. So blue, it's so pretty. Okay, if I hold a blue, will it turn normal again? No. Okay, we have to do with blue today. Okay, but anyway, so this is just one, and I'm gonna finish this ball. It was 100 grams and 150 meters that I have in total. divided over 2 skeins that I spun. I chain plined the yarn, and they came out almost equal. Like one was 77 meters and the other 73 meters. So that's basically just the same. So I did the shorter one first. I'm just gonna finish it, and I'm gonna do the second one, the longer one, but I'm just also gonna finish it. I mean, it will be like a 5-row difference or something like that. I mean, I cannot lay awake from that, and I just want to use all the yarn. Oh, and you probably did see that I put in a contrasting heel, and for that I used Stalcroft special DK yarn, so just a regular acrylic DK weight yarn, because it's a DK weight yarn that I spun, and I don't have sock yarn in this color in DK weight. It will be fine. It will be fine. This was the closest color I could get. It's pretty close. It's okay. I'm fine with this, but I didn't want to do the heel in this yarn because I didn't want to break up the lovely gradient. So yeah, and I have the second skein. I need to pull it up before I can start the second sock, of course. And you know what I'm gonna do? I was in doubt about this for a long time, but there's some fluff. Yeah, that's pink fluff. That's from this. I'm gonna do it the other way around. So I'm gonna start the toe with yellow and work my way up to blue. That will be so fun and funky. Yeah, these will be amazing. I'm loving them already. So let me put these aside again. Ugh. So let me check my notes for what I have to show you next. I did some spinning. That's right, I did some spinning. Are you ready for this? It's beautiful. Tum 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 tum. Ta-da! Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful, you guys. And it's so soft. Okay. It actually was dry only yesterday. Okay. Look, look, look. This is 100% 90.5 microns Superwash Falkland merino wool in the Earthern colorway that I bought from Natalie at Woolwisp. Her shop is currently closed, but she probably will be opening it in the future again. But for now, look at how stunningly beautiful this is. I'm so proud of this. It's 106 grams and I got 487.5 meters. So almost 500 meters in 100 grams. So if you check yardage, you would think it's a light fingering weight yarn, but this yarn poofs up like crazy. So it really has bloomed so much with washing, and it started out as a light fingering weight yarn, but it's definitely fingering weight right now. I'm of course not gonna knit socks out of it. It's too soft and too beautiful, and well, this wool is just not suitable for socks. You will wear holes in it right away. But what I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna knit a shawl out of it, because this has to be next to my skin somewhere, because it's so soft. I just want to hug it all the time, and it's so beautiful. The fiber came in one long, well, as fiber does, in a braid, well, one long roving bit, you know. And it was dyed from very bright green to a beautiful deep blue and back to the very bright green. And I decided to just spin it from one way to the other, so from green, blue, green, and then after the singles were done, I did do a center pull. I did it in a cake, center pull cake, you know, with a yarn winder, make a cake out of it. So I could ply from the inside and the outside as one at once. So I used the two green ends and started plying to get to the blue in the end. And it came out beautifully. It ended actually with the blue, but the blue is not very, it tends to tug in. It doesn't want to show itself, but it's there. It's definitely there. And oh, let me undo it for you so you can see it better. So here we have it. Look at it. And do you see this marled effect? I love it. I love it. That's the way that superwash wool takes dye. It just, as soon as the dye hits the wool, it absorbs it right away. Opposed to other fibers, they tend to just absorb it slowly and it will divide more and you get these more evenly divided colors. And with superwash wool, they absorb the dye and it gets stuck in there. They don't really spread out. So what you get with superwash fibers, they have very intensely colored spots and then lighter colored spots. So it's a bit like it's in spots. And that gives the yarn, the fiber and the yarn, such an interesting look. I like it. I really like it. Some people don't like it, but I really do, because it gives the yarn so much more depth and it looks so much more interesting. Because if I wanted a solid blue or a solid green or whatever, then I could just buy it in a shop, right? But this marled effect is so specific for hand dyed and hand spun yarns. I love it. I love it. It makes the yarn just so much more interesting and beautiful, in my opinion. Of course, everybody is allowed to think something else out of it, but that's just my opinion. I love it. And it's gonna be a shawl. It's definitely gonna be a shawl because I need to wear this around my head. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love with this fiber, with this yarn. So, enough about this, because I can go on about this one for hours, and we don't have hours. I don't want to steal an hour of your day. I probably am going to steal an hour of your day, because my podcast usually take up an hour. But if I'm going to talk about this for another hour, yeah, off topic. Let's get back into business. Then, that was what I have something fun to show you. It's getting warm in here. I'm sorry. I need to take this off. The sun is shining, and when the sun is shining, it's like I live in kind of a glass house. I live in a corner, and I have windows everywhere. There's a window there. There's a window where you're sitting. There's a window, and there's a window here with my balcony door, and there's a window, and there's a window. And when the sun shines, everything comes in, all the warmth, and no warmth goes out, so it gets very warm inside. Not that you needed to know any of that, but here you go. Sharing everything. Yeah, what I was saying. I'm a knitter with a capital K. You know, I'm a real knitter. But I started out with serious yarn stuff as a crocheter. So many years ago I crocheted, and it always went in phases. Like I had a phase that I was crocheting a lot, and then it floated into a phase where I was knitting a lot, and then back into a phase with crocheting, and it alternated. And every phase took about a year or something. But now I have been knitting for 4 years in a row, not interested in crocheting at all. And I even thought about getting rid of my crocheting stuff, but I was like, nah. I'll probably get back to it someday, maybe, or it's just nice to have some hooks at hand. Just, you never know when you need them or anything. But I've been binge watching some podcasts lately over the last few months, and granny stripe blankets. Well, I've been watching back episodes, so the episodes are from 2016 and 2017 or something, but I'm watching them now. And then there was this hype of granny stripe blankets, and all the podcasts were, well, not the podcasts, but the people behind the podcast were making granny stripes blankets. And I felt so inspired that I wanted to start one. And I was like, no, because you're not in a crocheting phase, and probably you're gonna start and then it ends up in a basket, and you're never gonna look after it anymore, and it's all. But I caved. I started a granny stripe blanket because I needed no more projects in my life, right? Okay. I have this. Let me first show it. I will talk about it. I made quite some good progress on it. Let me grab it here. So it's white, okay? It's going to fit if I ever get to finishing it. Of course, that's always the question with me. But the goal is to make it fit my double bed. So it's white. It covers my double bed, and it will have like 20 to 30 centimeters on each end. I made it. Well, let me show it, because who wanna knows about all the talking? Who wants to hear it? So I cannot see if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it if I hold it like that. So this will go on, and go on, and go on, and go on. The never-ending blanket, but we're almost there. Yay! And I stopped mid-row. That's what you do, right? So I started this, I don't know when, a week ago or something, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm crocheting it out of stash. The blanket, I cast it on 301 stitches, because you need the +1, and I used this double crochet foundation, where you do not a single, not just a chain and then do your grannies into the chain, but really a double crochet foundation chain of 301 stitches. And the yarn I'm using, it's about 3 meters wide, and I calculated that I want it to be also around 3 meters long, because the head of my bed is against the wall, so it doesn't have to go over it, but I want it to also go around 20 to 30 centimeters over the foot end of the bed, so it will be covered everywhere. I measured that each row is a centimeter, so when I had 20 rows, it measured exactly 20 centimeters. I'm using stash, as I said, stash yarn, and I'm using about, I have this stash yarn. It's called Fenna. It's from the Riga. It's a DK weight, 100% acrylic single ply yarn, and I have it from Fenna from the Riga, but I also have it from Action, from Kruidvat, but also Fluff everywhere. You have Meglana Jazz, and it's the same as Stylecraft Cabaret, but without the sparkles. But there are many brands who sell exactly this yarn all over the internet. And when there was a period of time when I was very much into this yarn, and I was in love with this yarn and all the colorways, and I just hoarded it. Like, seriously, I was worse than the yarn hoarder. I don't know if you've seen Amber's podcast from the Yarn Hoarder podcast. When it comes to this yarn, I was worse than her. And so I've collected quite a few balls of this in all the possible colorways. So what I'm doing is I'm using all the colorways, and I'm going with each colorway, I'm going back and forth. So these 2 rows, oh no, that's a lie, because I didn't finish the second row, but like the first 2 rows are one colorway, these 2 rows are one colorway, these 2 rows are one colorway, these are one. So I go back and forth in one colorway, and as you can see, the colors are very different. I'm using a 5mm hook, which is US H. And I'm using, for each row back and forth, is 34 grams. And I calculated that when this blanket is finished and it has the 3 meters that I wanted to, the length of 3 meters that I wanted to have, then I used 5.1 kilos of this yarn, which means 51 balls of yarn. 51 of these 100 gram balls of yarn. Now you would say, 51? Who has 51 balls of one type of yarn? Well, I can tell you, I think with my stash, I would be able to make at least 3 of these blankets. Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy, I know. But there was a point when I was just, I love the yarn so much. And every time I went to that store, I was like, oh, let me take just 2 more balls of this colorway and 2 more of that colorway. Just, just so I'll have enough. I'll have enough. I can tell you that. It's enough to make 3 giant blankets. So, yeah. And I'm really enjoying it. I just have to say that my fingers are not used to crocheting anymore, and when I crochet I hold my hook in a certain way where my index finger has to make this movement all the time. It's hard to do it when you have to and not crocheting, but my finger has to make do this all the time. It's not used to that anymore, so when I'm crocheting for a little while I'll get pain in my finger, so I have to stop because I want to use this finger a lot more than just, I need it for my knitting too. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And it's huge. It's massive. And I'm loving it. And there are lots of ends, but I don't care about them. Well, I mean, I don't mind. I have woven in the first 3. There are 3 ends gone already, but I don't worry about them. I'll tuck them in when I get to it. It's no big deal. Yeah, that's something I will just do it. And you know what I love about the color changing yarn? Look, this side of the blanket looks so different from this side of the blanket already, and it looks so different in the middle. Yeah, I'm loving it. It's not the prettiest. Well, I don't know really how to say it. It's your taste or not. I think that's the best way to put it. I think it's kind of ugly in a way, but it's also really pretty and a lot of fun. And I cannot really explain what I mean by that, but it's the truth. So you just deal with it, okay? I'm getting tired of all this talking. I don't know. I'm using so much energy. I feel energized, but I won't feel energized when this podcast video is over. I think I've lost all my energy into talking. Huh. Oh, let me show you some of the yarns. I'm not gonna show them all individually, but I just go upstairs, grab yarn from my stash, and take it downstairs and put all the yarns that I used in a separate basket, because I want to use all the colorways before I start repeating them. And I have quite a few colorways. Quite a lot of colorways. But yeah, so now I've picked up these from upstairs. a lovely branch. This is Fenna. This is from the Action. This is from Kruidvat. This is Fenna. This is Meglana Jazz. So they are all just DK to worsted weight, single ply acrylic yarns with a gradient effect. And I like them. So, then, on to the next thing. What do we have next? I've been sewing. And I've been sewing my first garment. I've tried sewing garments before. I have made a skirt once, which turned out okay. It turned out actually as a nice skirt, but the elastic band I put in the same size as my waist, which doesn't work. If it's an elastic band, you have to make it smaller than your waist, so it will grab onto your waist so it won't go down. If it's exactly the same size as your waist, it will go down. Yeah, I didn't know that. So I'll have to undo it and make the elastic band a bit shorter, and then everything is fine and I can wear it. But I made it 2 years ago and haven't. Oh, sorry table, sorry. But yeah, I haven't. Then I once started a shirt, and I thought, how hard can it be, right? So I just picked one of my favorite tank tops or t-shirts, I don't remember exactly, put it on my fabric, outlined my t-shirt, cut the fabric and started sewing it. And then I got to the neckline. I didn't know about the bias of the fabric, that it has to be in the other direction and stuff like that. So the neckline is horrible and it's still in the closet somewhere. I think I'm gonna use that fabric for something else. But so about the neckline, I didn't want to sew anything anymore because any clothing anymore, because I thought, well, I don't know how to do the neckline, and I have those magazines like Burda, the sewing magazine, and I've once tried. There was something in there that I wanted to make, and I went through the pattern and I didn't understand any of it. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this ever anymore. But then my Instagram friend Natalie, she said, you can do it. You can sew. There are easy patterns out there. You should do it. And I was like, are you sure? And she said I should do it. And there's a sparkle. Look, I have sparkle lip gloss. And this sparkle is showing up all the time. I couldn't resist the sparkle lip gloss. Anyway, off topic. Okay, so I looked. She said you should use an indie pattern. Like indie designers, sewing designers, they make patterns with all the instructions that you need, and you will understand it. It's photo tutorial, you will understand it, you will be able to do it. And I'm like, okay, if you say so, I'll give it a try. So I went to Etsy and I found this pattern. It's the button up tee. So it's a t-shirt with button, beautiful black and white picture. The actual pattern, what she's wearing is actually mustard yellow. Yeah, so a lovely top. I love this top. Beautiful shape, cute buttons on the back. Lovely top. And it's very simple, very clear. Everybody can do it. It's by If Kim Wore Clothes. Oh, this is visible in the thing, I believe, in the listing, but I'm not sure. So If Kim Wore Clothes, you can find it on Etsy. But I still wasn't 100% sure I could do it. So I had some old duvet cover, some bedding from when I lived at home and had a one person's, just when I was a child. No. And I still had the bedding, and I thought, well, that's enough fabric. If I mess up anything, then I still have plenty left to make something nice of it. But it turned out actually pretty okay. It's not completely finished yet. And it's not, you know, I'm not a professional sewist. So it's my first garment. So keep that in mind, okay? But yeah, this is the top. And this is the back. And I've pinned it, as you can see. I've put pins there. Because this is the button band. And I was still a bit in doubt. But I'll talk about that later. I have to take care of these last little ends. But that's the sleeve. And there are some side seams. And it's nicely hemmed. So not bad for a first garment, right? And it looks really fun on me. I'm not gonna put it on now, but it does look a bit like a bedding, a duvet cover if you see it like this. But it's really fun. It looks really fun. But then about the back. Look, and this is on the inside. But I put in these pins so I could try it on. And now it has you make the buttonholes and sew in the buttons. But I wasn't sure about it yet because my shirt doesn't necessarily have to be able to be opened at the back side. And it fits over my head. But if you can open my shirt on the back side, that would be a risk. You know, if I would go in rush hour and have to stand in a tram or a metro or anything, I don't want people to open my shirt. You know, there are crazy people out there who would do something like that. And I don't want that. So I was thinking maybe just to put on a button and sew it through both layers. So it cannot open. But then I thought, well, a button just on top of it looks weird if there's not a buttonhole around it, right? So maybe I should sew a buttonhole on here, but just not open it and then just sew the button on it. But that might look even weirder. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. For now, it's this. It's almost finished. In a cute polka dot fabric. It's a fun fabric. I like polka dots. It's cute. So yeah, that was my sewing adventure. Let me fold it a bit. So put it aside. But I've been sewing more, and this is exciting. These will go into the shop, which I will probably regret because I like them so much. I really want to keep them, but I bought the fabric to sew project bags for the shop, and I saw the bags to go into the shop, and I should put them in the shop. But once you see them, you will understand why I want to keep them. Okay, they are different sizes because I have to calculate in the prints. But let me just show. I'm gonna show them individually because they're so cool. They are unicorn project bags. That's a unicorn with the butterflies, the sparkles, and a waterfall. And then on this side, you have this beautiful unicorn that's like a statue in the ice mountains, and then the sparkles, and there's another unicorn and butterflies, and there's another waterfall, and it's so beautiful. And I did top stitching in silver. Yeah, silver, and it has a handle with also silver top stitching. And if you open, it's a triangular bag, like my favorite one. And once you open the zipper, the inside has these metallic bronze stars, and it's sturdy. It's almost like canvas, and it's sturdy, and it stays open and up like this. And this is like the boxy bag. You can hang it around your wrist and feed your yarn through here. So yeah, I love it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I made them in different sizes. They all have a little bit, have a different print on them. This is the smallest one. But this is perfect for socks. Perfect. Then the next one is also with unicorns. Look, another kind of statue I see unicorn, but look at how beautiful her manes are. And this one has a golden horn, and there's a wisteria tree, and then on this side, look at this galloping in the mountains, in the green grass with flowers, with a pink horn and butterflies up here. And look at this handle. This is a wisteria tree, and then here with butterflies, and also the silver, and this is sparkles. It doesn't really sparkle, but it looks like sparkles. And I used the silver thread, and it's top stitched with silver. The lining is the same as the other one, with white canvas kind of like fabric with bronze sparkles, stars. And this is a triangular bag too. This one is a little bit bigger than the other one. And then this one is the same style, but it's only trees. It doesn't have the real unicorns, but it's still, I love it so much. Look. This is the front. So they line up. And there's butterflies and wisteria trees. And also here butterflies and a waterfall. And this is the biggest size. And the handle. And it also has the silver top stitching. And the same lining. I use the same lining for all of them. And I love these so much. The colors are so bright. I want these for myself. I need to order more of this fabric. I have to. Look. I love how this tree is just... Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then the last one is the same size as the tree one. It's a really bit bigger, so it's... You can fit like 2 balls of yarn in there. Project for 2 balls of yarn. So like maybe a small shawl or something. This is my favorite. My favorite. I want to keep this one. It's unicorns and rainbows. Look at that Pegasus flying unicorn with butterflies and a rainbow on top. And look, the rainbow continues. It covers the front and the mountain. Even the wing continues. And then there's just the top of the mountain. And then there's the other side with another Pegasus flying unicorn over the rainbow. With butterflies and a lovely dragonfly. And oh, it's so beautiful. On this one, I don't know how it happened, but I forgot to top stitch it. But still, does it need more sparkle? Does it need more? Well, more sparkle is always good. But I steam blocked it, so your fabric won't get stuck or anything. So the top stitching was pure decorative. But yeah, and look at all these butterflies. yeah, and there's a butterfly on this handle too. Oh, I love this one so much. I want to keep it, but I'm gonna try to sell it in my Etsy shop. And with this, it's the same. You can hang them over your wrist. So, yeah, I love these. I love these flying unicorns. I'm not necessarily a unicorn fan, but these are just gorgeous. Look. Just look. One more time. One more time. I cannot stop about it. I cannot stop talking about it. Look. Oh, beautiful. Enough of that. Let's move on. Let me see what I had to talk about next. There's so much. Oh, we only have stash enhancements. Let's get to the stash enhancement. I know I wasn't allowed to buy yarn, but Shaban's Crafts, you probably know her from Instagram. If not, you should check her out. I will put her name in the screen if it works. She dyes some amazing yarn and fiber and stuff like that. And now she has this monthly club subscription with themes. And the first two were Disney themes, but I don't know if it will all be Disney, or maybe there will be, I don't know, the Care Bears or the Flintstones, or I don't know. But and I think it will all be Disney, but I'm not sure. But I came across it on her Instagram when she posted a lovely skein of yarn. And I thought, that's so gorgeous. It was Ariel, so the Little Mermaid. And I just saw the yarn and I was like, that looks like the Little Mermaid. And so I read her post, and apparently it was her monthly yarn subscription club that had come out of post, and everybody had received theirs, and now she showed what the yarn was like. Because you sign up and you only know the theme of what it will be, but you don't know what the actual yarn or fiber will look like. And she showed that Ariel yarn, and I was like, oh, I wish I could get my hands on it, but wasn't possible anymore. It was only one of a kind. And then she opened the next month. She opened February, and it was the Beauty and the Beast. Sorry, that's a sparkle. Yeah, that happens when you have sparkles on your lips. You will eat them. Anyway, she opened February and it was Beauty and the Beast. And I couldn't resist signing up. Because the colors of Beauty and the Beast, they are way out of my comfort zone, but I love them. And I know her fibers and her yarns are beautiful, and they are always more beautiful in real life than you see them on the pictures. So yeah, I signed up. I didn't know how it would look like, but yeah, I signed up for the yarn. And if you would go for yarn, you can pick if you want sock yarn or DK weight yarn. And I thought, well, let's go for DK weight yarn for once. And I opened my parcel, and I was like, that's definitely Beauty and the Beast yarn. I opened it, I was like, that's Beauty and the Beast. Okay, let me show it. So this was the February club subscriptions, because January was the Little Mermaid and this was February. It's Beauty and the Beast dancing in the ballroom. You can see it, right? The Beauty and the Beast. This is her logo, Shaban's Crafts. So this is DK weight yarn. It's 100 grams, so 250-gram skeins, and a total of 225 meter, and it's 100% superwash merino. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. I was thinking a hat or something, but yellow doesn't look good on my face, and blue doesn't either. I'm better with red red yarn. I don't really like red, but of all the colors, my least favorite colors are red shades, you know. But those are the ones that look the best on me. Why? Anyway, Beauty and the Beast yarn. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it, but they are so beautiful, and I love how they are packaged together, like really like Beauty and the Beast dancing in their ballroom. It's fantastic. I love it so much, and it's very soft. And so she has some yarn in her shop, a few colorways that I really wanted for a long time. But I was like, yeah, if I order then just one skein, then I have to pay shipping for just one skein, and the postage, that was just, it always felt like a waste of money for the postage, because if you pay postage, it's one postage is like half the price of a skein of yarn. Oh, by the way, this came with the, oh, so this is her card, and the stitch marker came with the Beauty and the Beast. Perfect. The rose and lovely red. What I was saying, but yeah, she has a few colorways that I really love. I was like, I'm not gonna order just one because that is a waste of postage. So I decided to buy a second skein of something else, one that I really wanted to have, and that is, it contains all of my favorite colors in one skein, and it sparkles. Like seriously, how can I resist? And like I said, the colors are always so much more beautiful in real life than on pictures. I don't know what it is with her yarns, but it's always, when you buy it, you're like, I think it's gonna be very pretty, but I'm not 100% sure. And then it arrives and you're like, oh my gosh. But the colors don't come over on screen very well, because this is actually a bright green, like a lime apple, like a Granny Smith green is this. And this is more of a greenish blue. Well, I can explain all the colors, but I'm not going to. You have to believe me. It's beautiful, and it sparkles. Can you see sparkles? Yeah, you can see the sparkles, definitely. And it's so beautiful. And this is her purple starling colorway. It's 80% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and 5% sparkle, which is also nylon. I think, no, Stellina is not nylon, it's the other. Acrylic. I think it's acrylic, Stellina. I don't care. It's man-made. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. And then remember this black envelope I got for Christmas with a gift card from Stephen and Penelope. I posted a fun story about it that I'm not gonna tell here because we're running out of time. If you want to know the story behind it, go to my Instagram and look it up. I think it's the last or the one before last post. So, in this bag from Stephen and Penelope, I went to Stephen and Penelope, obviously, to spend the gift card. There's a card with a chart for needle sizes, handy dandy. And then I had a hard time picking. My gosh, it's all so beautiful in there. But there was one that I had to have right away. I saw it and I was like, yeah, I need to have this. Oh my gosh. It's from Garn Stories, so it's a German brand. Oh, I wish you could see it in real life. Or you have to look it up at Stephen and Penelope's website, because my screen doesn't do it justice at all. It's so speckled and so bright. Like here, this is like absolutely neon. It's absolutely, the speckles are neon, but the yarn itself is very soft, subtle pastels. Beautiful. And then came the hard time picking a matching yarn, and I went with this. Purple is not what I would usually pick. I'm not a big fan of purple. It's a lovely color, but it's just, I don't know. I don't go for it very often. But it has this light blue with neon speckles. And, oh, and there's a cat hair. Of course, they are everywhere. And it's beautiful. This is the colorway Echo. And this is the colorway Sushi mit Belushi. And they are both 100% superwash merino, 400 meters per 100 grams. But look how, yeah, on screen they don't necessarily look like they match perfectly together, but they do. They have the same kind of light blue and the same, I bit on my cheek. Why, people, why? Yeah. Anyway, they do match together. The purple speckles in this one really match the purple of this yarn. They are just perfect together. They are so gorgeous. I love them so much. One thing I have to say, if I didn't have a gift card, I wouldn't buy them. I've been to Stephen and Penelope once before, didn't buy anything. Me, right? Not buying any yarn from a yarn store. And that is because this yarn is so expensive. It's ridiculous. I don't know why it has to be so expensive, because it's just yarn. Yes, it's gorgeous yarn. It's absolutely stunning. But I wouldn't, if I didn't have a gift card, so I wouldn't have to pay for it myself, I wouldn't buy these. Never. Never ever. I'm not gonna spend 30 euros a skein. 30 euros a skein? I know. I dye yarn sometimes, and I know that the base yarn of this is around 6 euros a skein. The yarn this is dyed on. And if you buy in bulk, the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. And I know that these yarn businesses, they buy, I don't know, 100 kilo or 500 kilos at once. So they pay like maybe 4 euros a skein of this yarn, and they sell it for 30. And yes, I know dye costs money and time is money, and you have to make a living out of it. These people make a living out of it, but the price they ask, it's ridiculous. It's insane. 30 euros a skein. Sorry if it's your thing, and if you love it, you should do it, but I am not gonna pay that much if I have a choice.
Het spijt me, maar ik kan je daar geen antwoord op geven.
That's Siri. Siri thinks I'm talking to him. I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to you. Basically, I'm talking to myself, to a screen. But I'm talking to you, right? Not to Siri. Anyway, these beautiful. I actually recorded a podcast today because I want to use these. I'm gonna knit a shawl out of it. I've been working on another project, a shawl, and it's nearly finished. I'm not showing it. I get distracted by my sparkles. Anyway, But what was I saying? Oh yeah. I'm not showing you the shawl, and because it's a secret project, because I'm designing it and I'm going to make a new pattern, new shawl pattern, and these are gonna be in a new shawl pattern of mine too. And I was ready to cake them up, and I was like, no, they are so pretty. You have to see them in this manner, because I love them. So yeah, look at all my start enhancement. Oh, I wasn't supposed to buy any yarn, but I did. And look, and I love them all. I love them. I very much love them. And you know what? A true fact, because truer than a fact cannot be, but it's a true fact. I hardly have any hand-dyed yarns, and these are all hand-dyed yarns. I hardly have any. I have a skein of fab funky fibers and 2 skein of rock and string yarns. That's what I showed you last episode. And then there was this, and then there's 1 skein of fab funky fibers that I bought a year ago, and that's all the hand-dyed yarns that I have. So I think I was allowed to have these. I gotta say that I signed up for the March club as well with a sock yarn, but because it was Alice in Wonderland, and I was just too curious to see how the yarn would turn out. And I love it to go out of my comfort zone. These are the colors I would always go to first, like you can see here. These not. I would never buy these colors myself, but I'm so glad I have them now because they're so beautiful. So yeah, I really like to be surprised. So, okay people, I've been talking for too much, for too long again. It's over an hour again. I don't know how I do it. So, I'm gonna go and try to edit this video. And we'll see if it works. If not, I put everything down there in the description box. If it works, I'll still put most of the things down there in the description box with links to it, so you can find it. But yeah, that's all I had to talk about today, and I think it's more than enough. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you for listening to all my ramble about all the stuff. I really like that you enjoy watching this. So yeah, until I see you again, enjoy your crafts, enjoy everything you do, and I'll probably be back next month. So bye!